Do you have friends and relatives or even co-workers who ask you very invasive questions or questions you deem unfit or nosy or intrusive? How is it you handle those? You know that colleague who wants to know who is your guarantor in the circle or how much you've asked for from your loan or if you truly are the one who bought the car you're driving or you have a sponsor. Tell us the truth, Agnes. We can also benefit, maybe as brothers. You have a sponsor, Sindio. How do you handle individuals who ask intrusive questions? You know, especially around Christmas season, it's dreadful and anxiety inducing for a lot of people because there's this uncle who is hell bent on bastardizing your tool of trade or whatever it is you do for a living. They think your career is beneath your area of expertise or things you should be doing. Or this aunt who swears the way your eggs are drying up. And they remind you to your face, Jerry, no, 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 no. You cannot be 37 gallivanting here like an ostrich without an offspring. No. We can look for someone for you, Jerry. This is unbecoming. How do you deal with those? Good evening. My name is Eric, and this is Eric Stories, where you and I every day, at least weekdays, weeknights, 7-ish, to about 7:15, we try and make sense of difficult conversations around issues of everyday life between men and the women they love, around money, sex relationships, and boy, isn't it lovely. I love your perspective and your mind about all of these conversations. Please don't hold it back. Share with me on the comment section, or if you prefer, instead, all of my DMs are open on all of my socials. Acquaint yourself with them. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, I invite you to subscribe. So yes, so you know that they ask weird questions. What are you going to do about it? They won't stop. They keep asking year in, year out, or every day in the office. Sometimes it's your bosses. What are you going to do about it? That's what I want us to talk about. I think I've found to be helpful. You know the way Michelle used to say, Obama, that when people go high, or rather when people go low, you don't go low with them, you go higher. I think it helps to adopt that in this challenge, so that you want to try and avoid being confrontational or rude, especially when it's a family member or even a colleague in the office. Be they a senior or a junior in rank or in age, you always look bad when you're rude. You look bad, you know? You lash out at them and say maybe an expletive here or warn them. It never comes out all right. If it's a family setting, they can choose to elect a clan so that you are cancelled about your rudeness because you think you are a Mandigo warrior and a city girl or a city boy. So I think one of the ways to go about it, which I think would work, is to ask the question back. Say Uncle Nehemiah wants to know what's happening in your love life. You slap the question back at them. Oh, what's happening in your love life, Dorothy? What's happening in your love life, Uncle Nehemiah? Are you still with Mom Dorothy Watatu? Or did you add Auntie Dorothy Wanne now? I mean, surely if they'll be uncomfortable with you asking back what they asked you, then it's the writing is on the wall that that question was intrusive, right? Auntie Njeri asks, and when are you getting pregnant? What about you, Auntie Njeri? When are you adding us another cousin? I mean, we are 7. It would be amazing to have the 8th cousin. Do you have any plans in that regard, Auntie Njeri? Maybe don't laugh like that. But you get the drift. I think if you ask people back what they're asking you, maybe when it sounds back in their ear, they'll be like, oh my goodness, that's not a good question. If they don't see it to be unfit, or they don't find it nosy when you ask it back, maybe just smile and walk away. That's a way you could ask. The other thing I think somebody should do, which can work, is go with your heart and your gut. Just listen to your heart and head and what they tell you, all right? But remember to study the intention and the motive behind the question. Not only that, also study the individual asking before lashing out at them. Remember, it's possible that they are well-meaning. It is, for the simple reason that human ways are various. Sometimes your level of sophistication is way advanced than theirs. So it's poor to elect or to think that they are malicious, all right? Sometimes that's the best they know how to do and how to ask. So you're thinking, how can you just walk up to me? Mind your business, Auntie Jerry. No, no, no. Auntie Jerry was not brought up like that. She's going to mind your business and hers as well. So it's very important to really go behind the question and think about the motive. Is the question coming from a good place, a place of care, or is it a gossipy question or to put you down or to cut you to size? All right? And then you can respond. I think it's very important. Sometimes we think that people should think like us, but I'm learning not. People are privy to different information and different circumstances and different upbringing, and they will always dish out who they think themselves to be, not how we want to be treated, unfortunately. And I don't think it's good use of time to spend the entire afternoon to discuss with the entire clan about Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie and what she wrote in her book and how she came to give you guys a lecture at Princeton and how feminism is something worth of their salt. Chances are they're not going to pick up very quickly on that or at all. So then you want to just look at the intention and then respond accordingly. All right? A useful heuristic I normally remember when I'm confronted with such questions, I could probably share. It's called the Hanlon's razor, which simply states, never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by neglect or stupidity. Sometimes people are just ignorant. So you getting really worked up and it's someone who's just stupid makes both of you stupid, and you don't want to do that, do you? Another way to do it is just to thank them and then say how you feel about the information they want from you. Auntie Joanne, I thank you for asking about my status as it pertains pregnancy. At the present moment, to be honest, there's nothing to report. I, however, find it awkward that you want to know about my sex life in great detail. Because I love you so dearly, should something change in that regard between now and 9 months, you'll be the first to know. That should buy you some respite time, don't you think? And then maybe they'll bite their tongue the next time they want to ask you about a pregnancy. Yes, it's invasive in my opinion that you should want to know about my sex life because we don't roll like that. Our circle of interest don't slide like that. But because you really want to know and now I know, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. How do you like it? Should I let you know immediately it happens after? No, don't go there. You're being too sarcastic there. But you get the point, right? Yes, so that should buy you some time. You can make up some deflecting standard phrase. I like the idea. There's once I read this white guy, let's call him Scott. Scott is a very white name, isn't it? So this guy, they'd been dating this woman for about 11 years. And what Scott decided to do, because questions around what next in your relationship were always so incessant amongst friends and colleagues, he decided to make a phrase to just deflect the question. And his phrase was simple. So if somebody, family or aunt or relative asked, when are you guys getting married? By the way, you've been dating forever, haven't you? He said, next Tuesday. That's what he would say. And I used to find that so funny. And he'd say that so much until people stopped asking. And he'd be like, what this coming Tuesday? It's like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are getting married next week on Tuesday. How come I'm not invited? Then he'd shrug his shoulders and walk away smiling. So yes, you can make up a deflecting phrase. Something like, when are you getting pregnant? And like, wow, definitely this coming summer. That's what we're getting pregnant. Yes, that's when. Anything else I should update you on? Or this Friday at 1 a.m. That's when I'm definitely getting pregnant. It's funny you've asked because I was just thinking about the timing. 1 a.m. around 1 or 9-ish, I should be pregnant. Oh my goodness. Obnoxious people with their demented questions. That's the conversation we're having. You could also respond with a remark about the weather and how lovely it is. Suffice to say, abruptly changing the topic. When is John proposing? Auntie, I don't know how about you in Kitale, but the weather in Nairobi is so warm. I hope you're going to have a bountiful harvest. Did it rain? See, smooth. That's smooth, right? All right? Most people will get what that means. If they don't get it, again, you smile and walk out of the room or out of their presence and go to another room. It saves you a lot of energy. There's no need for you to bark and get very upset and agitated and start calling your mother about Auntie Sophia and how she's intrusive. Chicky, mommy, I'm tired of auntie. Why does she keep asking me about pregnancy? Right? So just move the conversation to something else. That should work, shouldn't it? Turn it into a joke. Yes, a little light humor goes a long way. How old are you, Stephanie? I feel young and I can't remember. Yes, I feel really young and I can't remember. And you add some snort for effect. Yes, a little humor goes a long way. So there's no antagonism. Another way I think can always help, which I've used myself before, be blunt. A simple phrase like, thank you for asking, Auntie and Uncle Nehemiah. I would prefer not to go into it, and I'd be grateful if you respected that. Very simple, no wahala, no drama. You've shot straight to the point. I don't want to talk about it. Can we talk about something else, perhaps, please? All right? You've laced it with a nice English with punctuation marks. Auntie Nehemiah, Uncle Nehemiah's wife. I thank you for asking. However, comma, I prefer not to talk about these instead. How about your children? Shall we talk about your beautiful hair? That's more of a pressing issue, in my opinion, than what's happening in my bedroom. And the reason why these questions can be annoying, sometimes you've been trying to get pregnant for a really long time, or even, God forbid, you've been, losing your pregnancies. And every time people ask these questions, it invites a new pain. And so you who keeps asking, if you're watching this, please stop, unless people have chosen to discuss these things with you. Don't ask invasive questions. You don't know what people have been going through. Sometimes life is hard under the wraps. They don't share it with you. Doesn't mean they don't want to get pregnant or they don't want to get married. Maybe you should move around and see how hard it is to date. Have you tried dating these Nairobi men and women? It's tough. It's not easy. We are not in 1992 when your uncle would propose a girl and then you get hitched. People are dodgy nowadays and they have 15 boyfriends and girlfriends. All right? So maybe you mind your business. And if people invite you in their circles, just always receive until the area you've been accorded. I know my circle of limits with my friends. There are things I don't discuss with my friends, those who are married or single. I know the things that make them uncomfortable, so I don't go there. If they bring it up, then I listen more than give my opinion, so that you can have a better friendship. But if you go on and start telling people what you think they should do, and when they're going to have children, you are going to be outliving your welcome in terms of the friendship. And you don't want to do that. How else do you handle intrusive, invasive, and even nosy questions? Share with me on the comment section. Good evening.